Alrighty, here we go. What? No, it's... All right, today we get to study Torah for the sake of heaven, for the sake of Israel and all Jerusalem. And we'd like to give the merit of our study and the merit of our Torah to everybody who is going through the coronavirus pandemic and suffering financially and everything else that they're going through. Our Torah goes out to the world today. Ruler of the universe and master of all masters, Father of mercy and forgiveness, we thank you, our God and the God of our fathers, by bowing down and kneeling, that you brought us closer to your Torah and your holy secrets, and your holy Torah. How worthy are we that you grant us with such a big favor. That is the reason we plead before you that you will forgive and acquit all of our sins, and they should not bring separation between you and us. And may it be your will before you, our God and the God of our fathers, that you will awaken and prepare our hearts to love and revere you. May you listen to our utterances and open our closed heart to the hidden studies of your Torah. And may our study be pleasant before your place of honor as an aroma of sweet incense. And may you emanate to us light from the source of our soul to all of our being. And may the sparks of your holy servants through which you revealed your wisdom to the world shine. May their merit and the merit of their fathers and the merit of their Torah and holiness support us so we shall not stumble through our study. And by their merit, enlighten our eyes in our learning, as stated by King David, the sweet singer of Israel. Open my eyes so that I see wonders from your Torah. Because from his mouth, God gives wisdom and understanding. May the utterance of my mouth and the thoughts of my heart find favor before you, God, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. All right, big class today, team. There's going to be quite a bit of reading, but we have to get the basis down of what is going on. So let's start today in Sanhedrin. And all of the stuff that we are going to go over today is going to be end time prophecy stuff. Coming of Messiah ben David, the Mashiach ben David, what has to happen, what is going on, everything. And we know that we are in a 6,000 year cycle. We're at 5780. God always does something early, like at Egypt. They were supposed to be there 400 years. He took them out in 210. And you light Shabbat candles 18 minutes early. So before Sabbath arise. So as far as timelines there, the Torah warns about, and the Talmud also warns about trying to figure out a timeline. But if we are conscious enough to see what's going on within the roadmap that was left for us, it will make a lot of sense. So without further ado, let's get right into it. As I said in my little pre-class, in Sanhedrin, 96b3, if y'all want to turn there for a second, we have a lot of ger moments in 96b3. Why? Leading up to all this messianic prophecy. Because Adam has to collect his sparks back, his fallen sparks, the nitzots, they're called in Hebrew, the nitzots that fell from the Gan. Adam has to collect all those sparks. So it's very evident that in Talmud, you always see this happening. It's in Avodah Zorah, it's in Yevamos, it's in Gittin, it's everywhere, okay? So right here we see these what appears to be very wicked men, obviously. You're talking Haman and Sisera and all these guys, and Sennacherib, and they're all their sparks were retracted, inverted, and their sons and children became huge Torah scholars. Okay, so right after that, in 96b, it starts going into what's leading up to the Gemara talking about Mashiach. Now, in 96b5, if you will turn there, it says at the top, at the time, says Hashem, they will remove the bones of the kings of Judah, and the bones of his princes, and the bones of his priests, and the bones of his prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem in their graves. Now, from our past studies, you know that the luz bone is the top bone in the neck, but the luz bone is the bone that all the Torah is stored in. This Torah is stored in your bones. So your flesh, you know, the klipa melts away, but in your bones is where the Torah you learn is stored. That's why they had to take the bones of Joseph out of Egypt, etc. So we see that something is fixing to happen here with this statement. It's very encrypted. And they will spread them before the sun and the moon, Zah Nukva, obviously, and all the host of heaven in every realm. We always, as we're going to talk today, you're going to see everything we say is going to be in Asiya, Yetzirah, Berea, all the way up. And it's always going to reflect every level of the soul. The Nefesh, the Ruach, and the Neshama. Those three worlds, those three souls. So everything we talk about today is going to reflect that holography, okay? And all the hosts of heaven, whom they loved and whom they worshiped and whom they followed, the Gemara begins a lengthy discussion about the Messiah. Rav Nachman asked Rav Yitzchak, have you heard when Bar Nafli will come? Rav Yitzchak said to him, who is Bar Nafli? Rav Nachman said to him, it's the Mashiach. He says, why do you call Mashiach Bar Nafli? And he answered him, for it is written, on that day, remember we've studied a lot about that day, and the Lord's day, the Hashem's day, a unique day. You know, we already know from our past two lessons that this is the Malchut. The Malchut is David, the king, kingdom. The fallen, that's the fallen tabernacle, because that's a house, a bet, right? That's fallen from the Keter. On that day I will establish it. So that's the elevation, all right? Now, and it says on 97a1, he explains it, the booth of David that has fallen. And Hanopheles, that's the fall. The fall of the Malchut is what they're talking about. So if they're going to talk about the fall of the Malchut, when it's inverted and goes up, that is the secret of Messiah ben David. So let's read what it says. Having ascertained the meaning of Rav Nachman's question, Rav Yitzchak now answers it. Rav Yitzchak said to Rav Nachman, this is what Rav Yochanan said, the generation when the son of David, the Messiah, will come, the number of Torah scholars will decrease, and for the rest of the people, their eyes will become worn out through grief and anxiety. Numerous troubles and harsh decrees will be constantly appearing anew. Before the first trouble is over, a second one will hasten to appear. So if we look at that in 3D flatland, we say, oh man, that's problem after problem after problem after problem. Set that aside for a second, and we're going to go through each one of these, and then we're going to come back and we're going to explain through the Arizal what's going on in 4D, and then you can go back and you will apply it to every single one and every single part of this system, and it will all make sense. The following brisa described a 7-year cycle that precedes the arrival of the Messiah. The rabbis taught in the brisa the 7-year cycle when the son of David will come. In the first year, this verse will be fulfilled. I will bring rain on one town, and on one town I will not bring rain. In other words, there will be sufficiency in some and famine in the others. In the second year, the arrows of famine will be sent forth. There will be limited famine in all areas. In the third year, there will be great famine. Women, men, and children will perish. So will pious people and people of good deeds. And the Torah knowledge will be forgotten by its students. In the fourth year, it will be a sufficiency, but not a complete sufficiency. In the fifth year, there will be great sufficiency. People will eat, drink, and rejoice, and Torah knowledge will return to his students. In the sixth year, there will be sounds. In the seventh year, there will be wars. And in the aftermath of the seventh year, in the eighth year, the son of David will come. The Gemara asked, Rav Yosef said, there are many such 7-year periods that we have had. The Messiah did not come after them. The Gemara answers, Abai said to Rav Yosef, were there sounds in the 6th year and the wars in the 7th? Furthermore, did the events to which you refer to occur in this order? So he's questioning the order. The scripture states that your enemies have taunted, O Hashem, they have taunted the footsteps of your Messiah. This is crucial to remember. I want you to take this statement right here on 97A2 and stick it in your brain. Your enemies have taunted, O Hashem, they have taunted the footsteps of your Messiah. It's going to be huge in cracking the code. The Gemara cites another brisa that describes the pre-Messianic era. It was taught in a brisa. Yehuda says, in the generation when the son of David will come, the meeting places will be for licentiousness, the Galilee will lay waste, and the Galvan will be desolate. The people of the border will wander from town to town and will not be granted favor. Wisdom of scholars will decay. Those who fear sin will be despised. The face of the generation will be like a dog, and the truth will be absent. Remember that word. The truth will be absent. So we have taunting the footsteps, and truth will be absent. Now, this very same piece is written in Sota 59, which we will go over. I will tell you what all this means. As it is stated, the truth will be absent, and he that turns away from evil will become foolish. The Gemara asks, what is the meaning of the truth will be absent? The Gemara answers, in the academy they said, it teaches that truth will be formed into groups and go away. In other words, there's no interface. The Gemara questions the next part of the verse. What is the meaning of he that turns away from evil will become foolish? The Gemara answers, in the academy of Rav Shalom, they said, this means that whoever turns away from evil will be considered foolish by the rest of the people. Now, having mentioned a situation in which truthfulness will be absent, the Gemara digresses to relate the story about people who speak truth. Rava said, at first I used to say that there is no truth in the world. There is a person, i.e., there is no person who speaks only truth. But then one of the rabbis said to me, Rav Tavas was his name, and some say that his name was Rav Tavyomi, was his name. Even if they would give him all of the riches in the world, he would not tell a lie. He related the following story. Once I visited a certain town by the name of Kushta, whose inhabitants would not tell a lie. None of the people from there died before his time. I married a woman from among them. I had 2 sons by her. The narrative continues in the third person. One day, his wife was sitting and washing her hair. Her neighbor came and knocked on the door asking to speak to her. Thinking it was not proper to tell the neighbor that his wife was washing her hair, he said to the neighbor, "She is not here." Subsequently, his 2 sons died. The people of that town came to him and asked, "What is the reason for this?" He told them what happened. They said to him, "We beg you, leave our town and do not incite death against these people." The Gemara resumes the discussion about the pre-Messianic era. Rav Nehora said, "The Son of David will come. Young people will shame the old. People will rise before the young. A daughter will stand against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and the face of the generation will be like a dog. A son will not be ashamed before his father." Now, that is also in Sota that we will go over. It takes that piece and the piece we read prior and sticks them together. So we're going to go through that because it's all code, what they're trying to tell us here. Another brisa about the pre-Messianic era, it was taught that Nehemiah said, "When the Son of David will come, insolence will increase, honor will dwindle, and the vine will produce its fruit, yet the wine will be expensive. The entire kingdom will convert to heresy, and there will be no rebukes." The Gemara notes that this brisa supports a certain Aramaic view. It supports the statement that Rav Yitzhak said. For Rav Yitzhak said, "The Son of David will not come until the entire kingdom converts to heresy." Why? And what is in the verse? All has turned white. It is pure. We'll have to get to that because you don't see the word here. It's in the Hebrew on a son against his father. Now, what you have to remember, go back to the teachings that we did in Zechariah about on the day that on Hashem's day, the son will return to the father and the father to the son and all that deal. Remember what we said about there because that's what they're saying right here. All right. So let's look at the piece now that deals with truth on 97A3. Because once we figure out what that is, the rest of it will start making sense. Let me get my notes here. A3. The truth is absent. What if it's about the teachers themselves? If you look in note 23, the generation will be so corrupt that few surviving truthful persons have band together in groups to lead general society. Okay? Each group has its own truth. Is that not true today? Let it be. Which removes the real truth. Every different religion, even Judaism, has its own group and they have their own truth because they are dealing with Torah B. And their own truth is feeding off of itself. They hone their own truths so well that now what is the truth? Because they've honed their own doctrine so well, they know it so well that what that is becomes the truth. The first word where it says in the paragraph, Rava said, at first I used to say, in the Hebrew there it says, Hava mina. That's where we get the term havamina. Hey, what was I thinking, or what I would have said? Havamina. The havamina is there is no truth in the world. Why? Because it's not possible to have absolute truth in 3D. Because 3D, Bia versus Atzilut is sheker. It's false by definition. So there is no absolute truth here. It's only absolute truth there. His name is Tav versus Tavyomin. They didn't say if he had all the money in the world. They said if he had all the riches. Halal, the word is halal ya de olam. The spaces in the world. The spaces between the worlds. This is the riches of his treasure house, which we're going to find out what's in them through the Arizal. This halal, these spaces, this is the concept of where 3D truth is separated, and in that space above 3D, you cannot tell a lie. Kushta, truth. He was sent to Kushta. I'll just read it as we learned it. Kushta, truth. Kushta is Luz, as is known. Luz is where Jacob laid his head on the rock. This is Luz. This is the interdimensional portal that is in Atzilut, where there is no sin, where there is no death. This is where the Haya, this is the tree of life. This is known as Luz. The sources are clear. You can never tell a lie there. The Maharal of Prague says, this is known as the woman of higher consciousness. So what happened? He goes to Kushta. I married a woman there. Once he got out of his 3D mind and got 4D consciousness, that's called union. That is marriage. The two sons are the polarity, right brain, left brain. This is the helix. So you have middle, right, and left, just like the spherotic tree. And this is like a helical structure that's going up like DNA, like you have Moses and you have the Mashiach ben David and you have Eliyahu. That is the triune structure. Like Enoch, Moses, and Elijah. There it is again. Why was she sitting and why was she washing? Not only that, what was she washing? She was sitting because sitting is clean language for zivug, union. And she was washing her hair, her head, cleansing the din, washing her head. You need to know, when a person unites his consciousness with a higher consciousness, it is referred to as marrying a woman. This is coming from the Maharal of Prague. Through this act of zivug, it makes it possible that his potential can be activated. This is called generations. As it says, he married a woman from there. Her two sons are his generations or his potential. To produce, it must be a quality and it must be increased. This is why there is a machloket of Shammai and Hillel over the verse, be fruitful and multiply. Now we think be fruitful and multiply means get married and have a bunch of kids. That's the Peshat. But what does it mean? Hillel says you must have a boy and a girl. Shammai says you must have at least 2 boys. What are they agreeing on? There must be 2. Why 2? Right brain, left brain. Wisdom and understanding make knowledge, da'at, lose. You will understand more worlds of supernal wisdom if you understand worlds of supernal wisdom. What he's saying is, if you understand there is a world of supernal wisdom, you will understand worlds of supernal wisdom. When he revealed Kushta, when he reached Kushta, he married a woman. He merited truth, true consciousness. So now it is fitting to have 2 sons. This birth is Kushta, truth, pure truth. It is known that supernal wisdom is called the seed of truth. It comes from the brain and travels down the spinal cord to the yesod energy. This is the whole thing about spilling seed, because it's coming from da'at, kushta, pure truth. And the spine, as you know, has 2 sides, right and left. These are the 2 sons. We're Leviathan, we're Nakash. See, it's Mashiach. He's describing the whole thing right here in code. The seed comes from the brain, is cooked through the right and left testicles. Therefore, the progeny that is produced is known as 2, Netzach and Hod. These 2 sons that gave birth to, when Rav Tavot had Zivug, unification in the place of Kushta. This is what it means he married a woman and have 2 sons. This is his potential and his actuality. This is Adam and the twin messiahs. She was washing her hair. We have explained that Rav Tavyomin is on the level of Tov because his name is Rav Tov. He's the good Rav. He's good. Tov. Which is the level of modesty. If his name was good, it was not appreciated, because we have laws of the ways of peace in the house. They are known as the little white lies. So there is good versus absolute truth. So there are laws in the Talmud for concealing a matter with, like in the home with your wife. If she is naked in the other room and company comes on, you can say, oh, she's not here right now, because you are covering for her. This is bitul yesh. This is honoring the home. This is honoring her. But it's not absolute truth, because absolute truth only applies there. Since his truth could change to the laws of modesty, it is impossible now to have absolute truth. If you'll look at note 32a. Actually, it is permitted to lie under certain circumstances. Bava Metzia 23:24. Also see Rashi in Genesis 18:13. When Abraham's talking about Sarah. She is my sister. Did he lie? She's a Shekhinah, but is he her sister? That type of deal. So let's look at, I think I've got Bava Metzia here. I do. Bava Metzia is book 41. Bava Metzia. What did it say? 23, 4? I don't know that I wrote that one down. Oh, yeah, I did. Baba Metzia 23b3. This good Rav knows the Talmud. 23b 3, bottom right-hand corner. The Gemara cites an Aramaic statement in support of the principle. For Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shamuel, only these three matters is the practice of a rabbi to deviate in their speech from truth. In regard to knowledge of a tractate, in regard to matters of the bed, and in regard to hospitality. So this good Rav, he knows he's following good, but is he following absolute truth? Regarding his bed, as is known, because going to a higher place, there are things that are not proper to be revealed. Soon as he tilted toward falseness, even though proper, however, in the level of 4D, these sons of wisdoms, the twin messiahs, fall. And understand these words of wisdom, because what he was false about because of modesty, he didn't die. He should have died, but he didn't die. But his consciousness fell, just like Adam, and Adam was put to sleep. The whole thing, his consciousness fell. It's all coming to tell you how great the level of truth is. Nothing missing. As sons, as soon as you bring a 3D convexity, a 3D prolapse into 4D, it falls every single time. Understand these matters deeply. I will not comment on them anymore, says the Maharal. This is coming to teach the truth of dimensionality. Because truth is existence. Falseness is absence of existence. I'm going to say that again. Truth is existence and falseness is absence of existence. Rav Tavo, meaning he was a student of the master, not a sage. Because it says, one of the rabbis said to me, but he was on a journey to find the truth, which is known as separating from evil. One that separates from evil, as it was discussing right in the previous chapter, paragraph. He was separating from evil. Rav Tavyomin, this is his higher level of truth. He became the essence of truth. He transcended the physical realm. Some say it was the good Rav. Some said it was the good day. Yav Tov Yo Min. Yom Tov. It was the good day. And God saw the light and it was good. He transcended from the 3D to that light. Some say it was this one. Some say they're showing you dimensionality. They're showing you 3D, 4D. Because he transcended the physical realm, his name is Tav Yo Mi, good day. And God saw the light and it was good. He had separated from the physical. In the beginning, there was no kushta, meaning there was no truth in this world. But when I came to kushta, meaning when I came to the truth in the world, so in the first one, his name was Tov. There was no truth in the world. But when he came to the truth, his name was Rav Tov Yomi. because it is coming to the truth. It is how to appreciate, it is how to get and appreciate and connect to marry to the next level, according to the level of the man he unites with that level. The Ben Ish Hai says, it should have said, give me all the money in the world. The sages tell us there that this means the space, the halal, between here and there, between heaven and earth. This space is known as the tree of life, the halal de alma, as is known. So, you now see that right here in the middle of them talking about Messiah, Adam, they have to tell you what's going on here. Because they're saying all of these things have to happen. Are they saying they have to happen here? No, they have to happen there. Where only truth is. It gets so many different explanations about the truth down here. The fact is, it's not the absolute truth. It is not the absolute truth. This is the 4D truth. It's all code about what's going on there, not here. So, does it look similar and apply? Is it partial truth? Let it be. But until you know the code of what's going on, they come to tell you right in the middle of the thing, you have to know absolute truth before you absolutely say the truth. So, let's continue on. We are now going to go into the Arizal for a little bit. And this is big time stuff. Because when I teach this piece, every piece that you're going to ever read about Messiah will now all make sense. Every bit of it. Because you have to know what coming of Son of David means. Coming of Messiah. What does that mean? What words are they talking about? Well, the first chapter of Sefer HaGilgalim, the book of Gilgalim. The famous statement, the Son of David will not come until and ben David ba. Until they are completed all the souls in the body of Adam. Rashi says, the Holy One in Yevamot 62a5. Let's go to Yevamot. That is book number 24, if you have it. 62. A5. You ready? Bottom right-hand corner. The Gemara records a new dispute pertaining to the mitzvah of procreation. What? I thought we were talking about coming of the Davidic Messiah. It was stated, if a man had children, but they died in his lifetime, Rav Huna said, he has nevertheless fulfilled the mitzvah of procreation, and he is not obligated to have additional children. However, Rav Yochanan said, he has not fulfilled the mitzvah. He is required to have more children to replace the ones that died. The Gemara explains both views. Rav Huna said he has fulfilled the mitzvah of procreation. On that basis, which Rav Assis said, for Rav Assis said, the Son of David will not arrive until all the souls are vacated from the goof. What? Goof. As it says, a spirit of redemption from before me shall be late born, and souls I have made. Remember all the souls Abraham and Sarah made, right? However, Rav Yochanan said that this has not been fulfilled, the mitzvah of procreation, because it requires through his procreation there be a fulfillment of God's plan. God has a plan through procreation with the coming of Messiah. He formed the world to be inhabited. And since these children have died, there is no inhabitants in the world. So, hold on to that piece of knowledge. The word goof, there is a spectrum, there is a separation. Like we said a while ago, that this, all the riches in the world, the halal, the goof, there is a separation. He's talking about the world of truth. And in this world, but there is a curtain between the Shekhinah and the angels. Rashi says this is God's treasury. Wonder what's in his treasury. The Arizal says in chapter 1 of the book of Gilgalim, Rav Chaim Vital, behold, Adam HaRishon. All right, so you have Adam Kadmon, Adam HaRishon, and then the backside of Adam HaRishon, this is Adam in the garden, is Adam Belial. You can call him Satan, whatever you want to call him. The Nakash, okay? So here's what it says. Adam HaRishon, at the time he was created, it was contained in him from the Nefesh of Asiya to the Nefesh, to Yechida of Atzilut. He contained every soul level of everything. This is what is written in Ezekiel 34:31. So go to Ezekiel. Grab your Ezekiel. 34:31. It says, now you are my sheep, the sheep of my pasture. You are Adam. Adam, you are man. That's words Adam. You are Adam. I am your God, the word of the Lord. Adonai, Havayah, Elohim. The whole formula is there. Why does he say you are Adam? He's speaking to Israel. The Gemara asks, what do you mean you are Adam? In the Midrash Rabbah, chapter 40, paragraph 3, Solomon is saying, he's explaining why he chose Betzalel. Remember, Betzalel is the one that fashioned everything for the tabernacle. Betzalel. It said, because his name has been called. Called that soul Betzalel. Oh, is my connection going? When God called his name Betzalel, he was the guy. His name had been called. The explanation of the matter. To understand the verse literally means human. All nation are humans, just like Israel. They stand upright. Furthermore, it should be said, you, singular, because Adam is singular, but it is written in the plural. People are you. It's a kasha. Rather, the matter can be understood as in Job, in the Midrash Rabbah on the verse. When Job says, perhaps God, you thought I was your enemy because the name Job, Evoy, is the same as Ove. It's you just tweak it just a little bit. Ove is enemy. And because he's going to God going, dude, do you not know my name? My name's Job. I'm not Oved. I'm not your enemy. To which, you can read that in Job there. And God says, where were you when I created the earth? An ephah, like this is it's an epho, an epho. Where were you when I created the earth? Because an ephah is a measurement. Take an ephah of flour is a measurement. Hasim says, where is your measurement in the body of Adam Harishon? According to the Midrash. He's asking him, where were you in the body? You see, there is this goof, this halal, this separation between 3D and 4D that contains Adam's body, every soul in the body of Adam. And he's saying, where were you? Do you even know where you are in the coordinate of the body of Adam? Do you think I don't know? Do you think I'm going to think of you as the backside or my enemy? The matter is that all the souls are in Adam. And at that time he was created. There is a nephesh that depends upon the head of Adam. There is a nephesh that's rooted in the eyes of Adam. And there are those in the orifices and those in all his limbs. When Adam was a golem, he showed him every tzaddik in the future. When Adam was just a mold, he showed him every tzaddik in the future. He showed him hair, forehead, eyes, ears, mouth, nose, and earlobes. Og, Sog, Man, Ben, there it is. And no, at that time, and now at that time, Job argued with God. That's Job 38:1, if you want to look it up. He said, are you going to argue with me? Tell me, where was your place in the body of Adam? Head or forehead or limb? If you knew the part of the body you came from, you would not be arguing with me. The Tosfos says, the souls of the nations and Israel is not from the same body. In other words, they're not from the same energy field, but it's holographic. When Adam was created, all of the souls from the side of Tov, good, were rooted in him. After the chet, after the sin, after the fall, the Tov was mixed with the Rav. Ever heard of the mixed multitude, the Erev Rav? It's the story of the garden. Out of the Ra, the evil, came the nations of the world. Out of Harishon came out of Adam Harishon came the souls of Israel. That's why it says you in Ezekiel. This is the man, Adam, in the verse. You, Adam, are the nitzots and the limbs of the body. Also, this is why Israel is known as Goy Echad, and the nations are known as Goyim. Goy Echad singular, Goyim plural, the 70. As it says, who is like you, Israel, a nation unique, Echad, in the land, Goy Echad, in Samuel. Yet the nations came out of the Ra that were mixed. Adam is now mixed with good and with bad. Etzadat Tovarah, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And part of him got mixed with the male of the Klippa, Samael, known as Adam Blia'al. And Hava mixed with Lilith and the Zuhama, the poison that penetrated. Therefore, the only tikkun is death. Meaning that when they will give birth to sons and daughters, they will be separated out until all the nations will be from the Ra and all Israel will be from the Tov. In other words, Elvis, quit snoring. In other words, all the Gilgalim, all the procreation has to happen until all the souls that were mixed in the Tov, Ra, are in the Tov, and anything that was in the Tov, the Ra, is now, and it's completely separated. Back to its original function, all the Ra and all the Tov. Back to the split. Starting with Abraham, did this distillation process begin. This is, it is self, it is the self in this matter of the Yetzer Hara that causes him to sin. And when he does, he will decay in the dust, and the Ra will fade away, and only the good will be left of the bones. In the future, he will be resurrected with all the purifications of the body of Adam. Please get him out of here, baby. At Sinai, when the Torah was given, the Zahama was removed and they could have lived forever. But when they made the golden calf, they mixed the Ra and death returned. The commandments were called engraved. The word engraved, harut, versus cherut. Cherut means freedom. Freedom from what? They were freed from the angel of death. And they were freed from the subjugation of the nations, i.e. no more exile. The Malchut, the nations, the kingdoms, is the place of the Hitzonim where it grabs a hold of them. Because the angel of death and the kingdoms only have control because of the klipa that is connected back into Klal Israel. So what the reason I was saying is the only reason the nations are existed is because the klipa has attached itself back to Klal Israel. If not, Israel would rule everything. Everything would be separated out, and it would be Mashiach. It would be completely Mashiach time. All the souls of Israel are contained in Adam HaRishon, and all the souls of the nations are contained in Sam. Just like Adam had 248 limbs, and all of the souls of good are rooted in them, so too Adam Blial has 248. When Adam ate of the tree of knowledge, the good limbs mixed with the bad limbs, each limb within limb. The head of Blial to the head of Harishon, all the way down to the feet, until the feet meet the feet. These are all the worlds, all of the Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, everything. The Nefesh has 248 in Bia, 248 in the Ruach, and 248 in the Neshama on both sides, on Blial and on Harishon. That is, if there is a Neshama rooted in a great limb of Kedusha, it's also got a correspondence inside the Klipa corresponding to it. That's why you have powerful, powerful men that are evil. They're corresponding to the very connection of let's get two pencils. Adam HaRishon, Adam Blial. Front side, back side. You're going to have two erasers. You know, this is going to be a powerful tzaddik over here, like Moses. This is going to be a powerful wizard over here, like Balaam. And so on, and so on, and so on. You have front side, back side. This is the secret of Yeshu HaNotri. Anyone that is greater than his neighbor, his Yetzer Hara is greater than his neighbor. Who is the neighbor? His corresponding limb. Therefore, when there is a great holy soul that enters into the klipa, it is very difficult to remove it from there, because the klipa that is holding it is also great. This is why we find great men, masters, that have committed great and horrific sins, like Jeroboam, Ahab, Manasseh. And understand this, the arrogance is the inverse of holiness. To understand this, remember when we were studying about the whole Yeshua Nutri, it's all about arrogance and ego. That's the inverse of holiness. Remember what Rav Yoel wrote about in the Baal Shem Tov teaching I gave last week with Shabtai Tzvi and Yeshu. It's about ego and arrogance. How it occurred that Adam HaRishon, that his limbs fell down, we'll call it a fall off, and he became embedded in the klipa. What does it mean, go into exile? The Shekhinah is garmented in the 10 sfirot of the klipa. She is trapped everywhere, yet she still rules over it. I'm trying to read my writing here. Likewise, the souls of the tzaddikim are exiled and garmented inside the klipa. In every generation, the good souls go out to the klipa, higher level. How? Through the mitzvah of procreation, Gilgal. This is how Adam removes the trapped souls in Bia that are in the klipa. If there's a trapped soul in Bia, a trapped soul in Yetzirah, a trapped soul in the Sia, there's procreation. There has to be a procreation here so he can release them there. This is the whole system of procreation. That's why they brought procreation and having sons, truth, on every level. This is what Shammai and Hillel were arguing about. This is deep. Not only is it consciousness and knowledge that goes from Da'at and travels down Yesod, that's the whole procreation, which is the absolute truth. Not only according to each generation they come out from the head, some from the feet. So in Berea, you have some from the head, some from the feet, some from the arm. There's a little man there, a little man there, little Adam, little Adam, little Adam. At every level is coming out. So when these guys are reading all these things that have to happen, they're only talking about the arm, the foot, the head, the eye, the ear. Though what order? That's why I go, well, what order did that come out? You see, maybe this guy's a Torah scholar. Maybe this guy's not. Maybe there's famine. Maybe there's water. You see how they're bouncing it back and forth from Adam B'lia'al to Adam HaRishon through the whole thing. Until the final generation that we are in now. Now, the Rizal wrote this 400 years ago. Now, the Shekhinah stands in the feet. When the souls of the generation called the feet of Adam are taken out through each generation, not just now, but through each generation, when that is completed, the Messiah will come. This is why each exile is to the four corners of the world. The Shekhinah is Adam's souls among the 70 nations. Therefore, the Shekhinah goes forth with them. Why? Because if there are any holy souls there in the klipa, the Jews are compelled to pick them up. Beaver. Because the Shekhinah is an all-consuming fire, and a consuming fire pulls as it consumes. It sucks the oxygen. So when all this is completed, and the good is taken out of the raw, in the feet of Adam, this is what the Zohar says, when the feet meet the feet. When Messiah comes, behold, in the final generation, when the body of Adam is separated out and all that's left are the heels of Adam Blia'al, heels of Adam Blia'al, when that is left, then comes Adam, David, Mashiach, the letters of Adam. Mashiach, Moshe. Now, how long have we went? We've went an hour. Okay. Now, we're almost done. Let's go to Sota 49. And now that you know that Adam Blia'al and Adam Harishon got all the souls mixed together, and Adam through children, birthing, has, that's how he's separating all the souls out, because he's got to get them out of the goof where they're all stuck. I am going to keep going because it's going to get a lot better. Now you know the secret of abortion. That's the sod. The backside is trying to stop the Gilgal of the coming of Mashiach because it knows that's the way Adam's doing it. He's got to create the vessel to put the soul in. So what does the backside do? Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. But what's happening? It's accelerating the process. It's so counterintuitive. It's amazing. So now let's go to Sota. We got about 10, 15 more minutes here. Let me find my Sota. Get your Sota. All right. Now, and for sake of time, I'm not going to read the first part where it says when Rebbe Meir died, parable ceased, Ben Azad, scholar ceased, Ben Zoma, exegesis, when Rabbi Akiva died, the glory of Torah ceased. These are all those things the men were talking about, right? Wisdom ceased, all the different things. That's in 49a5 if you want to read it at home. But what we have to do, when Rebbe Eliezer the Great, Torah scholars began, and then there was no Torah teachers, synagogues became like commoners, blah, blah, blah. In 49b1, here we go. In the period which will precede the coming of Mashiach. You see, what you have to understand, wherever it says the coming of Messiah ben David or the coming of Mashiach, that word coming there is Akiv, like Rabbi Akiva. Akiv, it means the heel. It doesn't mean to come. It means when he gets to the heel. And what happened when Esau and Jacob were born? Esau was supposed to be Messiah ben Joseph, and Jacob is Messiah ben David, and he had a hold of Esau's heel. And now you know why. In the period in which to precede the coming or the heels of Mashiach, insolence will increase and the cost will soar. The vine will yield its fruit, yet the wine will be dear. And the government will turn to heresy, and there shall be no rebuke. The meeting places will be of harlotry. The Galilee will be destroyed, and the Gav land desolate. And the people who dwell on the borders will wander about from town to town. Now let it be. We see this stuff going on in 3D, but that ain't the absolute truth. We're after the Kushta truth. And they will not be secured, and wisdoms of the scribes will decay. And those who dread sin will be despised, and truth will be absent. Youth will blanch the faces of the elders. Elders will stand in the presence of the minors. The sons will deride the fathers. The daughter-in-law will rise against the mother-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And the man's enemies will be of his own household. The face of the generation will be like a dog. as a son is not abashed in the presence of his father. Upon what then can we lean? Upon our Father in heaven. Now, take everything you know about souls, worlds, levels, holography, nations, Adam, Israel, exile, Shekhinah, Beaver, Nitzot, spark, the body of Adam, the heel, 3D, 4D, and take your tools and put them on the map. So here we go. The footsteps of the Messiah are the souls of the final generation. The word coming is heels, because on the heel, the callus on the heel is the thickest and the darkest. Therefore, the soles and the feet are going to be the very material that arrogance is increasing in. Therefore, David will not come until all the souls of the body will be completed. This is the final instruction map for Adam, and all the souls will complete all the way to the feet. Insolence. The word here is insolence. And right after the word, note 2 there, 49b1. The word is chutzpah. The chutzpah, the arrogance will increase. You're talking about, he just said the heels of Mashiach, and then he said, that is the thick part, the arrogance. And the cost will increase. The insolence is the klipa, the thickness. And the cost are the nitzots, the holy souls that are trying to be pulled out. They will be released and soared upward. The cost will be high. The vine will yield its fruit. The vine, wine, Gematria 70. The nations. They're explaining the beaver. The nations from the side of Guvarot. 70 is the sod, the secret. And the nitzots are coming out to the surface. And the vine will yield its fruit, and the wine will be dear. See, Adam's getting all the holiness back. It's crazy. The government, it doesn't say government here. In Hebrew, it says the malchut, of course. It's inverted. It's turned completely into the klipa. The government will turn to heresy. All the klipa is going to go to the klipa, and all the holiness is going to go to the side of the holiness. No rebuke. You cannot judge anything, because it's in the in-between time in which the thickness of the klipa, the gravitational pull, this is the greatest time. It's called political correctness. There is no truth. It's politically correct. You can't judge anything, because it's in this time that's so heavy, Guvarot, what's the term? Globulated. Let's use that, something like that. This is the political correctness, of course. The meeting places of sages. It does not say yeshivas. It says the meeting places. The interfaces, where you would interface, where they would meet and interface. Where do we meet and interface now? Through the internet. Where's all the pornographic content in the world? In the interface. The word sages is actually added in here. The word is zenut. The edge became desolate. The edge is the edge of the klipa, where the sparks await the beaver. The north to the south, which is the Galilees to the north, the Galvans to the south. The word Gival is border. What's on the border? Edom, Sair, it says, the klipa. And look in verse, note 12 there. It says, it means will melt away. I wonder where we've heard will melt away before. Remember the class I did on Ravali about the sons and the fathers and the 3D and in Zechariah where it says the 3D is melting away and their tongues are melting in their mouth and da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. It says it right here. This is 3D exchanging into 4D. So go to Psalms 58. So let's go to Psalms 58. Psalm 52 there. Psalm 55, 56, 50. All right, here we go. 58:8. Psalm 58:8. May they melt like water that flows away when one draws his arrows. May they be as if crumbled to pieces. The klipa. It's going to melt and crumble to pieces. This is what they're sitting here trying to tell us. This is what they're encoding in us. They just nonchalantly throw melt away there in note 12 without any explanation. Wisdoms of the scribes, the sophrim. The sophrims are the gematrias. They won't. There will be no more counting. There will be no more gematrias. All that, no, we don't do all that. Of the sages, and it says and go to truth of the scribes will be absent. Youth will blanch face of the elders. Go to Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49, verse 7. Jeremiah 49 and verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus says Hashem, master leader, there will be no wisdom in Timon. This is Yemen. Which is the Gavlan. Why is wisdom associated with Yemen to the right? Because this is the right side of the klipa, the Hesed versus being drawn down. The wisdom of the klipa, the wisdom of Esau, we stay away from. That's Christianity. True wisdom of Torah has decayed. That is Torah A. The dread of sins, 3D fear of sin will melt away. 58:8. In the rock that the builders rejected, the word rejected there is maso, despised. That is the da'at. Knowledge, kushta, truth is rejected. Of course it is. The true fear of sin should be the head of Adam. The dread of the Adamic fall, not yourself. This is not fear. Anyone that is not doing Adamic Torah are despising it. Torah A is hated. The 7 wisdoms will be despised. Truth, kushta truth will be absent. The truth is divided into flocks, as it says in 97a. Now, the youth will blanch the faces of... Why doesn't it say kids? Why does it say youth? That's the Na'arim. The lesser Metatron versus the greater, the elder Metatron. As it says in Psalms, I was young, but now I'm old. The lesser Metatron is whitening the face, the panim of the great Metatron. The interface will return. Standing is erect yesod, from katnut to godlut. And the elders will stand in the presence of the minors. The son against the father. As we've studied this before, the 3D battle is into the Nitzot's into the 4D. This is the Hug, the Hasidim and Guvarot of Adam Harishon and Adam Blia'al, the 3D into the 4T. The household is inverted. The branches go into the roots. And all the Gilgim must be returned. Why is the face like a dog? Dog is Gematria 52. 52. Og Sagman Ben 52. The final name is now inverted. The Klipa will be the face of a dog, but it's the return to the 52 name. And here's the kicker. Why does it say lean upon? Why not trust? Why doesn't it say trust? What then can we trust? No, it says upon what? Really, the word is who can we lean upon? What can we lean? What can we lean upon? Our Father in heaven, it says. It is well known your prayers must go to your Father in heaven. In the Siddur, Father in heaven, this is the word Makom. Makom is the name of God. Makom is the Eben Shtia. That is the rock that the builders rejected. That is Kushta truth. Lean. Alma. The word lean, Alma, means, the word lean literally means on Ma. Ma, 45 name, Adam. It's not a question, it's a statement. On what? On Ma. Ma is, that in Hebrew, what is Ma? On Adam. And then you have Father, Abba, heaven, Zah. Who is me? Ima. And that are the footsteps that have been rejected, that have been mocked. We took every piece that they've talked about. We have explained how all the souls got mixed up. We've explained the entire timeline body of Adam for 6,000 years. We have explained how the mixture happened. We have explained how the beavers got to happen in each world, in each soul, in each generation. We have explained the code. Now you can go back and put this template of Adam and Mashiach, which is Adam, in every single situation in the Talmud, and you can crack the code. And the Torah is amazing, and the sages are amazing, and the Talmud is amazing. And I hope y'all enjoyed this lesson. It was a deep one. Shabbat Shalom.